girl, welcome back to the Her Best Self Pod. I'm Lindsey Nickel, and if you're listening to today's episode, something inside you knows that it's time for a breakthrough. It's time for a wake-up call. Today, I'm coming at you so super hot, but with so much love and some hard truth that is wrapped in a bow that I hope you will take with you and do something with as a next step. But because sometimes the most compassionate thing I can do is to stop letting you lie to yourself. And so this episode is all about your come to J moment. And if you're struggling right now, if you're terrified of gaining weight this summer, if you're making excuses, sis, and if you're blaming everyone and everything except the person in the mirror, this one, it might sting, but it is going to be today's perfect listen for you. So turn off the distractions and let's get to it. Here we go. Hey girl, welcome to the Her Best Self podcast. I'm Lindsey Nickel, former competitive figure skater and perfectionist, turned God-led imperfect boy mom and digital CEO. If you find yourself constantly thinking about food and wondering if you'll wake up one day free from the obsessive thoughts and behaviors controlling your life, then I've created this podcast for you because I know exactly what it's like to be a downright hot mess trapped in a destructive cycle of disordered eating. I finally found freedom, and you can too, girlfriend. So if you're ready to heal your relationship with food and body and break the chains of control and show up in your best health, then grab your favorite Tarjay journal and let's get to it so you can start living your best life as your best self. Before we get started today, I just want to say that the purpose of this episode is not to trigger you, okay? It is to give you some hope and to propel you into action. That being said, if you're at a very sensitive place right now and you're super vulnerable, feel free to skip some of the beginning. But I want to paint you a picture and bring real life and real truth to your ear today. So we're going to take a time travel back to 2007. It was a random weekday morning and I was getting ready for another day of pretending that my life was fine. I had literally just finished my morning run, followed by 50 crunches on my bedroom floor. And I stepped into the shower. I want you to envision this. The water is hot as anything because I was always freezing, always exhausted, always running on empty, but too stubborn to admit it. I mean, I was fueled by coffee and everything was fine and life was fine. I was actually getting ready for skating practice. And then everything went black. I woke up on the shower floor with my roommate banging on the door, asking if I was okay. And the truth was I had passed out. It was probably really quick. Honestly, I don't remember all of it. But standing up in the shower, my body had literally given out on me. And the reason why I wanted to share this with you today is because it is vulnerable, it is truth, and it is real life. Did I tell her what had happened? Of course I didn't. I laughed it off. I made some stupid joke about being clumsy. But as I sat, water still running, I knew that deep down in my soul, this was not normal. This was not okay. This wasn't sustainable. And before you go to try to compare my 2007 story to your current reality, hear me out. You don't need to pass out to be worthy of an escape, all right? So we're not even going to go there. But the point of this flashback, again, it isn't to trigger you, girl, but it is to propel you forward in hopes that you never, ever, ever have to experience a moment like that. Here's the good part. The control that you have next and what I did next. So here's what I did, as this is probably where most of you are right now, feeling like, I don't know my next step. I'm going to be for real with you. I went right back to the lies. I went right back to the stress. I went right back. I dusted myself off of the floor and I was like, okay, got to get to practice, got to go to the rink, like time to go. I didn't just have an epiphany. I didn't have anything during that moment going, you really got to get your crap together. Even though I knew in my mind I did, I blamed. I told myself I was just under so much stress. I told myself I had too much going on, that I didn't drink enough water, that it was everybody else's fault, that the reason why I was this way was because of the trauma that I had been through. I had put so much pressure on myself as a skater, but that was my coach's fault, or that was the sport's fault. That was just part of being in that sport. Or it was my nosy roommate's fault for making me feel judged for, quote, slipping in the shower. It was my sorority's fault even for the social pressure. The reality here is that I blamed everybody else except me. And if that sounds familiar, then keep listening. Because let me tell you what you're doing right now. You're sitting there terrified of gaining weight this summer. You're scared of what people will think of you. You're scared of losing control. And you're blaming everything except the one person who has the power to change this. Yourself. This episode is coming at you fire because I just feel like I need to get it out there. I want to show a side of me that gives you a little spice and zest, because while I typically come across as being like so encouraging and so loving, and I am all those things, believe me, ask any of my clients or come find out for yourself. I am your biggest ally. Like, I am that hype girl for you. I also feel like as your coach and as a sister that has gone before you in this journey of recovery, that you need to have a come to J moment, or what I call a come to L moment, right? So like, you need to have a bottom level moment where somebody says to you, the only person who has the power to change this is you. Maybe you've done the blaming, or you're doing that now. You're blaming your genetics, your metabolism, your family, your past traumas, your busy schedule, your lack of support, or your finances, your circumstances. And I get it. I get all of it. I really do. And if you've gone through trauma, then I understand that too, friend. But playing victim is so much easier than taking radical responsibility for your life. And here's what no one's telling you. And I wish someone had told me this when I was lying to myself on the shower floor. Your eating disorder is not happening to you. It's happening because of choices that you are consistently making over and over again. And I can hear you getting defensive right now, but Lindsey, you don't understand my situation. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know how hard this is. And you're right. I don't know your exact situation, but I do know this, that every single woman I've ever worked with, every single woman who has found freedom from their eating disorder had to stop making excuses and start making different choices. Every single one, including myself. Research shows that full recovery is possible for anyone willing to do the work. And the National Eating Disorder Association reports that with proper support and commitment, people do and will recover completely. But here's the key: taking responsibility and putting in the reps. Not commitment when you feel like it, not commitment when it's convenient, but radical responsibility for your recovery and your life every single day. So what does that look like? What is that radical responsibility look like? And this is what I wanted to talk with you about today. It means stopping the story that you have no more power. You are not powerless. It means admitting that staying sick is a choice that you're making because recovery feels scarier than staying stuck. It means looking in the mirror and saying, I'm the one keeping myself here, and I'm the one who can get myself out. It means stopping the blame game because your parents and your friend and your ex and your job and your genetics, they are not keeping you sick. Your choices are. And I'm going to get real and real and real and more real here. Yes, gaining weight is probably the scariest thing I faced in my life. But you know what's scarier? Passing out in the shower. You know what's scarier? Missing out on your entire life because you're too weak to live in it. It's waking up in 5 and 10 years, heck, 1 year down the road, and realizing that you wasted so much more time being afraid of numbers. And here's what I told myself and what I'm telling you right now. Either get help or don't. Either get help or don't. And this is my tough love. But let's not pretend that this is okay. So either commit to recovery or don't. But we don't get to complain about being tired and moody and cold and miserable if we're not willing to do what it takes to change those things. Either gain the weight or don't. Probably not what you were expecting to hear from me today, right? But I want you to stop expecting to love your life while you're slowly killing your life. Literally. So either take radical responsibility, sis, or don't. But don't blame everyone else for the prison that you get to get out of, right? You're choosing to stay in. The truth is that it is also a choice every day to try again, because I get it. There are days where you feel like I'm just on autopilot and this isn't a choice. It feels so much more than a choice. But every single morning that you wake up and choose your eating disorder behaviors over the opposite action, every single meal that you skip, every calorie you count, Every time that you choose the disorder over recovery, that's a choice. That's a choice. And the beautiful, terrifying truth is that if you have the power to choose your eating disorder, you also have the power to choose recovering from it. But this is what it requires. And I love you. And I truly, truly love you. But it requires you to stop being a victim of your own life. Feel free to totally turn the show off right now if this is too much for you. But I feel like so many women are on the cusp of a full-blown breakthrough, but they're sitting where I was on the floor. I know this is a problem. I believe now this is a problem, but I don't care. Like, I don't want to do anything about it. Or maybe I do care, but I don't feel like I know what to do, or I don't feel like I have control over the next step. Sis, your eating disorder wants you to believe that you're powerless. Because guess what? Powerless people don't recover. Powerless people stay small. Powerless people stay stick. Powerless people stay controlled. But here's what I want you to know. And this is what I wish somebody had said to me. Instead of my roommate knocking on the bathroom door being like, "Are you okay?" when she clearly knew I wasn't okay, and she also knew my issues that I was dealing with in my life, I wish she would have knocked on the door and said, "You're not powerless, Lindsey. You have a choice." And so that's what I want to be for you today. I want to be that sister friend that you can trust and you can know is going to love on you and shed some truth. Girl, you're not powerless. You've never been powerless. You want to know what changed everything for me? It wasn't a therapist. It wasn't a perfect meal plan. It wasn't finding the right motivation, although those things are great. And I bet if I had a recovery coach at the time, it would have happened so much faster for me. But it was the moment that I stopped making excuses and I started taking radical responsibility. It was the moment that I said to myself, this ends now, not tomorrow, not next week, and not when I feel ready enough. This ends now. Because here's the truth that you probably don't want to hear. You will never feel ready. There will never be a perfect time. You will always have excuses that are available to you. But recovered women on the other side of this, they're not better than you, friend. They just don't wait for the perfect timing. They don't wait to feel ready. They take action despite the fear, despite the excuses, despite every single voice in their mind telling them that they can't do it. So let me ask you a question. Are you going to be a woman who makes excuses? Or are you going to be a woman who makes changes? Are you going to spend another summer terrified of your own body in a bathing suit? Or are you going to do what it takes to reclaim your life? Because this summer could be your summer of breakthrough. This summer could be the beginning of your freedom, but only if you're willing to stop playing the victim and start taking that radical responsibility. Let's be real. You aren't here to live small. You're not here to live small. You're here to go all in on your purpose. And if you don't even know who you are because the disorder has taken so much from you, then we have to start there. Like, we have to figure out, what do I like and what are my preferences and who am I? And all those things are scary, but this is the cool part. You get to figure it out. And listen, if this episode is hitting you right in the chest, if you're tired of making the excuses and you're ready to make changes, then I understand. I want to invite you to take a solid action. I am launching what I'm calling the Best Self Breakthrough. Okay, this is a summer sprint. So it's for women who are done playing small and ready to take some radical responsibility for their recovery. No more excuses, no more waiting for the perfect time, no more blaming everyone else. This is for you, girl, if you're ready to stop being a victim of your eating disorder and you're ready to start being a hero of your recovery story. And if you're interested in learning more details, you can go to herbestself.co. You can apply there. I don't want you to think about it. I don't want you to make excuses. I don't want you to wait until tomorrow. So go do it right after you listen to the show. But basically, it is a 21-day sprint where you're going to work with me 3 times, and we're going to get you a breakthrough. We are going to get you a win. We are going to get you believing again that you don't have to constantly be controlled by these thoughts and that you have power. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to make excuses. Sis, recovered people, they take action even when they're not feeling like it. They don't think their way into recovery. They act their way into recovery. And it's not going to be perfect. And that's okay. So what's it going to be? Are you going to turn off this podcast today and go back to your excuses? Or are you going to take the first step to the life that you actually want? I believe in you, and I believe in your ability to take ownership and to take radical responsibility for your life. And so I want you to define that. Like, what would it mean if I took radical responsibility for my life? Because I believe that you are searching for an answer that you already have within. I believe that you have everything you need right now to start making different choices. And stop waiting for permission, and stop waiting for the perfect moment to make those choices, and stop waiting for the perfect person or for someone else to come and save you or to care. Or I want you to stand up and be like, I'm raising my hand. I'm saving, today is my day to save myself from this. And truth be told, I had another moment in time. It was like, I call it my come to Jesus moment, which was very similar to this story that I shared with you today. But I was literally on the ground, like begging out to God, please save me from myself. I cannot do this anymore. Like, save me from myself. And he did. He definitely did. But I didn't just come up out of the ground and have a miracle. It was saving myself in many ways over and over again. Yes, through him, and yes, eating for him, and yes, being obedient for my body that he has given me, and living life differently, and choosing recovery, and constantly putting it through that filter of, is this for me or is this against me? Is this in the slot of recovered me or is this in the slot of disordered me? And so that's where I'm saying, like, it's time to take that radical personal inventory and that responsibility, because your future self is counting on the choice. Your future self is going, yes, girl, like, I believe in you. I already know your life could be so much better if you just allowed yourself to go there. Today, I just wanted to come in your ear with some vibrant energy and let you know that it's time for a breakthrough. It's time to stop living small. You weren't meant to live small. And I hope that you take the energy of this episode and you go do something with it. I believe right now inside of you, if you're listening to my show, that you have exactly what it takes to get through this. You have exactly what it takes to get through this. But are you choosing to stay in comfort with those excuses? Save yourself. Take that radical responsibility and choose recovery. I'll see you next week, but I hope I will see your application in my inbox for the best self breakthrough first. Until then, remember, you don't have to do this by yourself. I love you, sis, and I'll talk to you real soon. Bye for now. Oh, friend, thank you so much for letting me share what was on my heart today. My hope for this podcast is to help more women find freedom from food and body. If this has empowered or blessed you, let me know. I'd be honored for your rating and review of my show, and I'd love to connect with you in my private Facebook community. You really can move from perfection to purpose. Let's break the chains together. I'll help navigate the way. Until next time, bye for now, girl.